Warren, from what you're saying, the RBA should hold. I mean, they're not impervious to the commentary and the political pressure that is now coming to bear in an election cycle, with an election due sometime, in the next couple of months. I mean, can they really hold the tide back?
Yeah, well, the political pressure is intense. It's like nothing we've seen in the last 30 years. And I think we've got to be clear, it's not, the Treasurer or the Prime Minister putting pressure on them as such. It's this idea that they're going to take the blame for anything going wrong in the economy, which I don't think's the right way to sort of be positioning it. And I don't think it's fair on the independent Reserve Bank. But that's the real political pressure. If they don't cut and the economy goes poorly, then they're going to cop the blame for it. So that's what they're feeling, and that's what the board will be feeling. But then they've got to do their own analysis, which they do, and they've got to have their view on the economy. And I think the RBA economists are going to say the economy is actually holding up, because the end question that the board has to ask themselves is, what will a rate cut achieve? Because the whole objective is to put more employment and more inflation into the economy when you cut rates. And at the moment, we've got plenty of employment and we've got too much inflation. So that's why I think they'll hold, and why they should hold, but the political pressure is pretty intense.
Would it be unusual for Michelle Bullock to come out at the February meeting, no cut, and say, look, we're not cutting because of all those reasons you just stated, Warren, but we're, a very high chance to cut at the next meeting in April 1. Can she foreshadow things like that, or not really?
Well, it's dangerous, and we saw that with the previous governor, where it was a big foreshadow. It was, no rate hikes for 3 years, but
we remember that.
Yeah, no, look, I think they've learned, and particularly Governor Bullock has learned that, you got to keep your cards close to the chest. The thing that these central banks do, all of them, is that they've got to predict the future and make an assessment of where we're going. And of course, that's inherently, we don't know the future. So I don't think they'll do that. If anything, what Governor Bullock has been saying now for a while is that at some stage in the not too distant future, we may be in a position to take some of those rate hikes back and cut rates, but not putting too much definitive time horizon on that. And I still think that time horizon is the second half of the year. I've got a rate cut penciled in for November, and I still think that's the right timing.
Great to hear from you, Warren. We just have a couple of weeks to find out. Great to talk to you.
Thanks, Laura. All the best.